Welcome to 230 Dudes. I'm Antonio.
And I'm Charles.
And tonight we've got a great episode for you about the things we want to do before we die.
Right, some things that we've always wanted to do and will continue to want to do until we've actually done it.
And Charles and I kind of got creative with this. We made it a two-part episode.
That's right.
This video is just for part one, and these are things we want to do that we firmly believe we will actually accomplish.
Right, things we're going to pull off. It's going to happen.
Yes, and the second part is things that we want to do, but it probably won't happen.
Yeah. So that'll be next week.
Yes, that'll be next week.
But for tonight's episode, we thought we'd talk a little bit about something that we've actually accomplished, like a goal of ours that we've actually pulled off. So we're each going to share one.
Okay.
And then you can check out the episode tonight for more.
Yes. You want to go first? Or you want?
Go for it.
So I had a really hard time with this. Now, I didn't want to be cliche with, the birth of my children. I didn't want to necessarily talk about any kind of sports nostalgic moment that I had remembering back from 3 years old on up. And I didn't really want to talk about my schooling, degrees or anything. And I wanted to wrap a story around it, but it made it a lot more difficult. Mm-hmm. But there is something I am very proud of.
Okay.
So I was a head football coach for 6 years. I was one of the youngest in the state of California, if not the youngest, and I think like the third youngest in the nation when I was first hired. But in 6 years of coaching, I got 12 plus kids playing college football. And that's more than any other coach at that school in history in terms of football. Yeah. So it's an experience I had that I never thought I was going to have playing college football, and it's something that I really wanted to stress to the football players that I had.
Yeah.
And there were kids who took advantage of my knowledge, and they put in the effort, and I put in the effort calling coaches and helping them check out schools. And I am proud to say that there were at least 12 who've put on a jersey in college. Now, whether or not they got to play a lot, or started, or maybe played 1 year and then decided to stop, that varies.
Right.
But there are 12 who actually went and got a jersey. The one with, I guess, the most esteemed or most prestigious school, USC, running back.
Nice.
So, pretty proud of that.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Right?
That's a good one.
What do you got?
I need to wipe a tear away first.
Shout out to all my former players.
Like Antonio, this was a tough one for me. I put a lot of thought into this over the last 48 hours, and I think, and for those of you that watch and know we're in Los Angeles, you probably assume that we spend a lot of time in the car. And for like the last 48 hours, that's what my car time has been. It's like going over things in my life. And honestly, one of the things I took away from thinking about this is, sure, there's a lot of cliche things, and I didn't want to do that exactly either. There's also a lot of things that I'm proud of that a lot of other people have done.
Okay.
And then there's stuff that I'm just happy I've done, because I think I'm kind of a lackadaisical dude. I'm not like super motivated. I seriously lack in like structure and organization. And so the fact that there were so many things I thought of, I was like, hey, all right, I've done some stuff.
You're doing pretty well.
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right in life.
I felt kind of proud when I was going through all this. But
this should be an exercise for people. Go and write down all the things you've accomplished and just take a look at the list, right?
I was like, all right, I've traveled to all these places. I've done these things. I was really happy about it. But what I ended up picking is something that is kind of a touristy thing that a lot of people have done, but it meant something to me.
Okay.
And I've talked about this on the podcast, but I'm a big Beatles fan. It was one of the first records I ever had, one of the first tapes, one of the first CDs were all Beatles albums, and it continued to be a big part of my life. It's something that their music resonates with me. I like the Beatles.
Okay. And
so one of their most famous albums is called Abbey Road, and on the cover of the album, the Beatles are in a line walking across a crosswalk, and it's the crosswalk right in front of the Abbey Road studios where they recorded that album. And I have been to the crosswalk.
Nice.
And I walked across the street, and I had my picture taken.
Were you listening to the album on headphones?
No, but I have memorized it. I was probably singing it internally. But it's something that a lot of tourists do. It's not an uncommon thing if you go to London, but I'm really excited to have done it. I was in a place that some of my heroes were doing what they did.
You walked in their footsteps.
Exactly. Yeah. And it meant a lot to me. And so I think that's one that is just a big accomplishment for me, something I'm pretty proud of.
Nice. Well, tonight, I promise you they won't be as sentimental.
Seriously.
No, it's a pretty fun episode.
It is.
And the second part gets a little crazy.
Right, this might have been misleading.
Yes. This is just what we came up with right now.
Yeah.
All right? So tonight you can check it out. All the things we plan on doing before we die.
That's right.
Part one of a two-part episode.
That's right.
8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and on 230dudes.com.
Thanks for watching.